And welcome to STLSportsPage.com, also RainbowsForKids.org. Rob Rains with you. Sally Tippett Rains here as we bring you today's edition of Weathering the Storms of Life with the Rainses, our little video quiz program that we started putting together after we all got kind of forced to stay home and shelter down there and get through this coronavirus okay. But we've had a lot of fun with this, and I hope other people have too.
We're definitely not saying we're any good at this, but we just thought it'd be something fun, a good way we could use our platform
I
that we
think
have
it's something that
available
we
to.
would have done. We've always been a big fan of trivia nights and quiz programs. So
Right. So hope you guys like it. Hope
yeah.
you're telling your friends that like these kind of things about it.
Hope everybody also gets a chance to go elsewhere on the site. We had a little fun last night. We taped a little Zoom conference call with a bunch of different Cardinal fans, including Mark Burns, who's the father of Jake Burns, who a Cardinal minor leaguer I wrote about before we left Florida. He lives in Sydney, Australia. He was on the Zoom call as well as a bunch of other people spread out across the country, and a good time to chat with them and kind of get the pulse of Cardinal Nation here as we get through another week of being stuck at home with no baseball.
It was fun to watch, and I think people that tune it in are going to find it interesting because people are expressing their opinions, and they may be the same opinions you have.
Yeah. So hopefully you get a chance to check that out. So today's quiz, we've got two different topics, fewer questions, but two topics, still about the total number of questions. So we'll get to those. I'm going to read the first 9 questions, that category, and then Sal will do the second one. The first category is all about the month of April. April is the cruelest month, and it's been pretty cruel so far, even though it's into it. But hopefully it'll get better. Oh, first of all, we forgot our words of inspiration. Sorry.
Yes. At the beginning of these quizzes, I'm just giving a little bit of inspiration to keep you guys grounded. And one of the things that I like to do when I am
Show it you can't light a match.
I can't light a match. I like to light a candle. I do that often. Just sit down. It grounds you. It calms you down. Just looking at the flame, you realize you still have that flame of hope in your heart. And when I light a candle, I feel like some of the prayers I say come out stronger, and I also just feel it grounds me and centers me. So I hope y'all think about that. If you feel fearful or feel nervous or anything in the next couple of weeks, just light a candle and feel peace in your heart.
Great. All right. Sorry, I forgot that. But it's back to the questions now. April, all about the month of April. These are either events that happen in April or have something to do with the month of April. So question 1, what 2 zodiac signs span the month of April? You can either jot down your answers on a piece of paper or just play along, and not keeping score, not taking prizes. So just whichever way is easier for you to remember what you said for the answer to the questions. What 2 zodiac signs span the month of April? Okay. Question 2. History. When Paul Revere rode off on his midnight ride on April 18th and 19th, he was warning the citizens of what 2 villages that the British were coming. What were the 2 villages that Paul Revere was warning the residents of that the British were coming?
Everybody
On
is
his
now
midnight ride.
saying the poem in their head.
Question 3. The Titanic. When the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, of the more than 2,200 people who were on board, approximately how many survived? Approximately how many of the 2,200 people on board the Titanic survived when it was sunk in April of 1912? That was question 3. Question 4.
Do they have to give the exact number?
I
Or are you
said
going to give them
approximately.
okay.
Round it off to the nearest 100. We're going
Okay.
to round off to the nearest 100. Of these 4 events, I'm going to list 4 events, which one did not occur during the month of April? So 3 of these 4 events did occur in the month of April, 1 did not. President Lincoln was assassinated. A major earthquake and fire struck San Francisco. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. And the Branch Davidian compound burned in Waco, Texas.
Wow.
Which one of those 4 did not occur during the month of April?
Wow, those all bring back memories. It'll be interesting to find out what the answer is.
Question 5. Samuel Morse, who invented the telegraph, was born in April. What 4-word message was the first message sent over the telegraph from Washington to Baltimore in 1844? The first 4-word message sent over the telegraph in 1844.
Are you saying the first message
Yes.
had 4 words?
It had 4 words.
Okay.
What were the 4 words? Question 6. The U.S. Civil War started in April 1861 in Fort Sumter. In what state? What state is Fort Sumter located in the start of the U.S. Civil War? Question 7. Who was convicted of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis? Who was convicted of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King April 4th, 1968 in Memphis? Question 8. On April 8th, 1974, Hank Aaron passed Babe Ruth with his 715th career home run. How many home runs did Aaron end up with at the end of his career? what was Hank Aaron's total number of home runs that he hit in his career? And question 9, final question of April, about April. On April 23rd, 1999, a Cardinal baseball question, Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals did something that had never been done before in the major leagues and has never been done since. What was it? What did Fernando Tatis do on April 23rd, 1999 that had never been done in baseball and has never been done since?
Okay, I was going to remind us that yesterday, if you watched yesterday, we could remember Harry, but we couldn't remember the other guy in Home Alone. So it was Marv and Harry were the two robbers in Home Alone.
Then when you hear it, of course, you knew that's right.
Yes. And now the next one, I'm excited to be doing this one because this is middle names, and we were already talking in an earlier quiz about how Harry S. Truman, the S stood for nothing. Mm-hmm. He just wanted to have a middle name. So I'm going to give you the name with the initial in there, and then you write down what it stands for, or think about it in your head, whatever. All right, number 1, Stanley F. Musial. Stanley F. Musial. Number 2, O.J. Simpson. What does the J stand for? O.J. Simpson. Number 3, John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller. Some of these you hear, but you might not get some of these. Some of them you will. All right, the next one, John F. Kennedy. What was the F in John F. Kennedy? President Kennedy. Number 5, George C. Scott. George C. Scott.
The actor.
Number 6, Booker T. Washington. If anybody gets this, well, you deserve an award.
I think you know it when you hear it, though.
You do?
Yeah, I remember hearing it.
Okay, well, maybe somebody knows it then without hearing it. Okay, that was Booker T. Washington. Number 7, Warren G. Harding. Here's another one I didn't know either.
That was hard.
Warren G. Harding.
You have to have a
don't
couple,
start Googling it.
You have to have a couple to separate the easy ones from the, people that
Correct.
challenge
Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt.
You skipped a couple. You skipped
Oh,
one. You skipped
okay. Number 7 was Harding.
Yep.
Number 8 is Wolfgang A. Mozart. Wolfgang A. Mozart. What was Wolfie's middle name? Number 9.
He was known as Wolfie by his friends.
Probably. Number 9, Franklin D. Roosevelt. And number 10, Robert P. Warren. Robert P. Warren.
Okay. We're looking for the middle names of all those people. Now we'll go back and go through the answers to the questions, as we usually do. April, all these questions about April. Number 1, what 2 zodiac signs span the month of April? You probably know it if it's your birthday. Aries and Taurus. Aries and Taurus. Paul Revere, question 2, was writing to warn the residents of Lexington and Concord. Question 3, the Titanic sank, killed about 2,200 people on board. It was about 700 who survived. So
wow.
Basically about one-third out of 2,200.
Wow.
About one-third basically.
You always hear the worst, and it's kind of like with this pandemic. All we're hearing is the bad thing, but so many people are actually surviving. So it is great to hear that. I didn't know that.
Question 4, the 4 events that occurred did or did not occur in April. The one that did not occur in April was the Challenger explosion.
Okay, do you know when that was, the Challenger explosion?
I think it was in the summer.
We were
in Decatur, Illinois. I remember that.
Oh, that's right. We were at our cousin's house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what were the other ones you said did happen in?
Lincoln was assassinated. The earthquake and fire struck San Francisco, and the Branch Davidian compound.
Oh wow, that was crazy that
Waco.
day.
Mm-hmm. Question 5, Samuel Morse, the telegraph. The first message that was sent over the telegraph was, "What hath God wrought?" What hath God wrought? Was the first message. Question 6, the U.S. Civil War started in Fort Sumter, South Carolina. Been there. Question 7, who was convicted of assassinating Dr. Martin Luther King? That was James Earl Ray. Question 8, Hank Aaron, his historic home run to pass Babe Ruth. He ended up with 755 career home runs in his career. And, of course, the last question about Fernando Tatis, what did he do that never been done before or since? Hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in a game at Dodger Stadium off Chan Ho Park. Not only did he hit him in the same inning, hit him off the same pitcher. So imagine the odds of that happening. So.
That's pretty crazy.
All right, now on to In the Middle.
All right, now we're going to get the middle names. Stanley F. Musial, swinging Stan the man.
They
All
don't
right.
answer the question in the song though. They only call him Stanley. F.
I
Musial.
know. I do remember that good old song, and I liked it. But anyway, so it was Stanley Frank Musial. Most people probably knew that. All right. Number 2, O.J. Simpson, Orenthal James Simpson. James would be the middle name. John D. Rockefeller was John Davison Rockefeller. Of course, everybody knows that our president was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Number 5 was George C. Scott, who played Patton in the
Among other
movie.
things, yeah.
Famous for that. Yep. Famous role. He was George Campbell Scott. Campbell. All right, this is the one that Rob said he knew that I did
I
not
said
know
I didn't
that.
know, but when I heard it, I knew it.
Okay.
I wouldn't have come up
Booker
with it.
T. Washington. He was Booker Taliaferro Washington. Taliaferro. And then the next one, Rob claimed to know too.
I didn't know it, but I heard it.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
Okay.
I'm not claiming to be that smart.
Warren G. Harding was Warren Gamaliel. 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 And it's good that he just called himself Warren G.
I knew the next one.
Okay, Wolfgang
Wolfie.
A. Mozart. The reason I called him Wolfie was because your gal, Valerie Bertinelli, has a child named Wolfgang, and she calls him Wolfie.
Okay. Amadeus.
Amadeus, yes. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And the last one was Robert Penn Warren. Those were fun.
Famous authors.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for joining in on this edition of Weathering the Storm of Life with the Rangers here on STL Sports Page, rainbowsforkids.org.